My name is Chaselyn Duncan, and the people viewing my speech are John Coons, Adrian Revis, and Joe Parsons. According to the database Aging Trends, approximately 3 million individuals will reside in a nursing home by the year 2030. That is roughly double the number of individuals residing in nursing homes today. I have worked as a CNA in a nursing home and an assisted living home. With that being said, I can truly account to the growing number of individuals being admitted to these long-term care facilities. With the growing number of these individuals in these long-term care facilities, it is imperative for these facilities to be well-staffed on their CNAs who are truly passionate about the jobs that they do, because they are the ones who are doing all the hands-on work with the patients. During an interview with my supervisor, Mary Beth Nash, she stated that CNAs are the eyes and ears of the nursing staff in a nursing home. Being well-staffed with CNAs is vital for any long-term care facility to properly care for their residents. Even though it is a very hard job, it is a very rewarding job that allows nursing staff to show many traits that God values. This speech will allow you to better understand the work that a CNA does on a daily basis, as well as some disadvantages of the job. You will also be able to identify certain traits that God values throughout the work of a CNA. As a CNA, I work under the supervision of an RN or an LPN. The type of work that I do depends on where I'm working. CNAs can work in nursing homes, hospitals, assisted living homes, and adult daycare facilities. I currently work as a CNA in a nursing home, and every day I am required to wear scrubs, which I have worn tonight for my visual aid. On a daily basis, I am required to get my patients out of bed, get them dressed, and make sure that they are present at every meal. Throughout the rest of the day, I am required for doing safety checks and taking them to the restroom as needed. Because of the nature of this job, CNA turnover may exceed 100% according to Castle. But the outlook for this job is promising because CNAs are always needed. And because CNAs are always needed and the outlook is promising, there are disadvantages of this job. One disadvantage is becoming close with residents. When you become close with residents, you create a bond and you look forward to seeing those certain people every single day. But there is always the factor of death, and when patients pass away, it is very hard to cope knowing that you've done so much for them throughout their life. Another disadvantage is watching the elderly patients suffer through depression. According to the American Geriatric Society, among cognitively intact residents, depression occurs at a prevalence of 20 to 25%, and it is associated with medical morbidity, disability, and mortality. 4 major factors that influence depression are any type of loss, any type of medicine that they may be taking, the environment that they are placed in, as well as their physical conditions. Depression is very common in elderly patients who are placed in these long-term care facilities, and it is treatable if it is noticed in time. There are certain things that God values about the work of a CNA. According to the Alvin text, one thing that God values is compassion for others. 1 Timothy 5:10 states, "And having a reputation for good work, if she has brought up children, has shown hospitality, has washed the feet of the saints, has cared for the afflicted, and has devoted herself to every good work." It is important to have compassion for your patients while doing this job because you are constantly caring for them and providing their daily needs that they cannot do for themselves. It is important to have a good attitude and to show the love of God while you are doing this. Another thing that God values, according to the Alvin text, is honesty. It is important while working as a CNA to be honest about the things you do, such as the medicines that you give, the food that you feed certain patients, and the type of care that you give them. Not telling the truth in any of these situations can result in death, a serious illness, and the loss of your job. Deuteronomy 25:16 states, "For all who do such things, all who act dishonestly are an abomination to the Lord your God." The third and most important thing that I believe God values in the work of a CNA is our attempts to share the gospel with those who do not know Him. Acts 1:8 states, "But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses in Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth." Throughout my job, I have been able to show the love of God by my attitude. I have been able to talk about God to people who have heard about Him, who may not believe in Him, people who have heard about Him, and people who have possibly never heard about Him. It is easy for me to just show the love of God, and that allows me to open up and give them more insight on the gospel. I'm able to pray for them and give them the care they need so they can see the love of God throughout my actions. In conclusion, being a CNA is not an easy job, but it is very rewarding. The good has always outweighed the bad for me. I have residents tell me on a daily basis that my caring actions and my kind words have meant a lot to them. And hearing that makes my job very worthwhile. I try to talk to them, give them encouragement, and as I said earlier, I pray for them. I do not want to be a CNA forever. I am currently going to nursing school at Liberty University. But I feel that working as a CNA has given me good experience and good insight as to some of the things that I will be doing in my future job as a nurse. Thank you for your time. Have a good evening.